Amazing. Barrister Ifeanyi. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me. So without much ado, I'll go straight in. So the first point I want to mention is the issue of due diligence. The adequacy or the inadequacy of due diligence in real estate transactions. This point is often overflogged, and it's like it's often mentioned but cannot be overflogged because of the importance. It goes to the very root of transactions, of the success of transactions, relating to land, in Nigeria. Usually people call it search, but there is more to due diligence than mere search. So the word search doesn't encapsulate all there is to know about due diligence. Because when people say search, they often mean like to go to the land registry and ask few persons some questions, and then there's this point that I want to quickly note: the issue of asking the right questions, the issue of meeting the right people, and the issue of trusting your intuition. I Let me quickly make an instance, because very recently I was involved in a due diligence, and some person, was given an allocation paper by a community, and when we went to verify that at the power of attorney committee of the community, it was so if we had, but when I met them, I told the person that from my own findings, everything was fine, but that because they paid well, I felt I should go with them to the meetings, And the first day I met the guy, I asked a few questions about his neighbors and some other things about mutual friends that we know. I know there, and I saw how his stability, composure, and I was not fine with that. And this is what they won't teach in law books, and they rarely mention. I should trust your intuition, because there is so much involved in real estate that you can't gamble. And oftentimes I mention that there is no absolute watertight due diligence. At times you try to get it right, but some things you didn't foresee get to come up, subsequently. So, but at that moment, you need to do everything humanly possible to get it right. And, there are some properties that have caveats. When you go to the lands, some properties caveats are registrable. When the people that raise the caveat, maybe there's an action in court and they want the caveat to flag up during search, they get to register the caveat. And at times too, you get to see beware of 419, this property is not for sale. That's a form of caveat. And no reasonable person will purchase any property that has such a caveat. But most times when they do due diligence, they don't expand their search to the court registry. And at times, for properties in highbrow areas, you should also go to the CAC to know whether there are registered mortgages or any other lien, you know, holding encumbering the property. And then the commonest is just go to lands, you know. And I used to advise that the best is not to do what we call window search. When you go to meet your contact at lands to say, please check this property for me. Window search wouldn't reveal all the issues in the land. You know, Windows search will not even reveal if your land is subject to future acquisition by the government. Usually, they earmark some lands for future acquisition, and people are still farming, people are still living there, and then suddenly issues arise. Windows search will not reveal. At times, government the way they do their things, they could own a land, but the government comes and goes. So the government of the day might not want to act on the ownership. People are living there, and but government in future want to exercise their interest to add to to take up their title and to use the land, like we saw in Oka, where there was a time some people gave land to the government for a federal institution. Later, the federal institution was built somewhere else, but the encumbrance was not lifted. But when someone does a formal search, the formal search will review every encumbrance on the land. I mean, the formal search where they to several files, not just the one obtainable online, and then they get back to you in writing, and the commissioner signs. All right. So one will also go to the probate registry. This is something we know. So most of the things I'll be saying today are some things we know, but I'll just fleshing them up more. At the probate registry, one gets to know further encumbrances like whether a property is whether it's a will, whether it's a letter of administration, whether there are other encumbrances not known at the first level, and then I'll make more points on that when I proceed further, And speaking about a good search, I recall when I was thinking about what I'll talk about this morning, I recall about a year ago where a company we work for, Savannah Smart Homes, they bought a property in Abuja. And I traveled to Abuja to meet the governor of Kuje, properties in Kuje. And we went to their care, their institution there, and they gave us a formal report about how free the land appeared. And later, we now found out that a part of the land that they supposedly sold to us was the property of the DSS. Yeah. So I mean, I'm one of the sincere persons that will admit that no, there's no watertight due diligence, because at times you can't go to all these institutions. At times you just can't go through all these institutions, But when you hear the even the slightest of rumor, you need to verify. Now we have a contact at the military at the federal level, their land registry, or however they call it, where all the lands belonging to them formally are registered. So if somebody gets to say this land could be property of this the Nigerian military, um, without seeing keep of property of Nigerian military, I mean, it's just common sense to find out how to go and verify it. All right, so the second point I'd like to mention, I mean, I'm talking about the pitfalls, those laws that realtors should look out for. I might not be mentioning the law that, the cases, but I'm mentioning, those salient points, and we'll elaborate on them in the course of our explanations. So the second point is the issue of the title, the nature of the title, and the proper seller. This point is even this morning I saw some videos online where some people, because of training, they have the training. Somebody told them, and they are doing videos, and I mean, they of course they're not from Bradley. Some people say some titles, registered survey is not a title. Power of attorney, there are judgments, Supreme Court judgments on that. A power of attorney cannot vest interest in the land. If you see the wordings, you know that even though it's in perpetuity, even though it's irrevocable, but it doesn't confer title. So if anyone has power of attorney or registered title, you need more. You don't have all that you need to have. So looking out for the nature of title is at the heart of this conversation, you know, because some properties look fine. The people marketing it or the link you to it might, be genuine people, but the issue is business. It's not about ingenuity or genuinity of the people. The issue is that a lot is at stake. If things go wrong. And um, recently, we had a case where someone sold the property and the property is his father's property, but he's not the right person to sell because in the what is it called, administration of estate law of Enugu State, the succession, if the husband dies intestate, like without a will, the wife is the next in line, and if the wife doesn't exercise the power by virtue of I mean deformity or incapacity or death, it is the parents of the man, the owner, that gets to exercise the right. So it could also be the wife, it is the husband, that's the spouse for marriage under the act, the Christian marriage. Then if the parents are not alive or will not be able to exercise the right to sell, it's now go to the children. So the children are not at the front. Or you get to see at times when issues arise and the children, the first son wants to come up to the front of the line and to exercise those rights. So ability to know this is actually critical because it won't cause the court is just one pen to strike down the whole transaction and the money goes into the drains. So you look out for the letter of administration. If the person that has that's the actual person that the name is on the document is not the person transferring the title. You insist on letter of administration, but what we find around here most times that because of poverty or I don't know, people don't go to the probate registry to get letter of administration when it comes to properties. They easier to go to the probate if it's money in the account. You just pay them the percentage and you collect the money from the dead man's account. So, but when it comes to property, there will be a government valuer that will ascertain the cost. And sorry, I'm on record. I could have said something. So that's for letter of administration. So at times too, um, you also have incidents. It could be a deed of gift. But because I'm also on record, I don't want to make some elaborations and in future I'm seeing my video. So but one of the documents could be a deed of gift. Another document could be a deed of sublease, where perhaps a company got C of O over a large expanse of land, and they are selling a part of it, a part of it, a part amongst the whole plots covered by the C of O. The proper document is a deed of sublease. But if you see, if you are selling the land covered by C of O, the entirety of the land, it is a deed of assignment. Yeah, and then so the deed of sublease. I've also in the morning I also saw the person I was talking about. The person mentioned about 99 years. If I just say some awful things, really, that a deed of leasehold interest cannot give rise to, like, if somebody has a leasehold interest, you cannot transfer the interest in the land. Leasehold interest. I was not wondering what is leasehold. It's not the same lease we know. You understand? So now this starts out the journey. That 99 years lease starts it out. So that most times people don't follow it the way it should be. The community that the deemed occupiers, they have the right of occupancy by the deeming effect of the act. They donate a deed of lease to the first purchaser. So the first purchaser now gives the remainder of his residue, that 99 years. So the first person holds maybe 10 and wants to sell for one problem or the other, or for one reason or the other. He sells and gives over 80, or 89 years, right? That's 10, and that's how. So if things are going well, you keep counting. But most times people don't even care. Everybody wants to make money, and life is time is they're in a hurry. Um, so that's what the deed of lease. It starts the process. Then the assignment. So you assign the remainder. So the person, the actual owners, by the deeming effect of the act, leases the whole right, the whole number of years to the first person. First person holds part time, assigns the remainder. So the second person he assigns to assigns the remainder of the earlier sum of years. Yeah. So that's so it's very critical. So also when it comes to community land, to the right person to sell, it's actually problematic. We've seen it in communities here a lot. And then because here we don't have this proper structure they have in the north in Abuja, where if a community is selling, if you meet the traditional ruler, it gives a level of confidence. They get to call the people actually at the helm of affairs, and everything is centralized. Even here, they purport to have it centralized, but it's not actually centralized because issues get to happen where there's a forceful takeover from another power of attorney committee. If you enter forcefully, they want to grandstand, like we saw in Okunan or somewhere. Yeah, I've forgotten the place. Where the the new guys started saying that the old guys shouldn't have done this and done that. They started revoking people's interest, started destroying people's. I mean, it's even criminal, to destroy those structures. I mean, people's improvements. If I'm a client, if you bring money, we can arrest all of them. Yes, it's malicious damage to property. Nothing empowers you to do that. It's a civil action. Go to court. If you introduce criminality into it, we do it by criminal. Yeah. So identifying the right persons to sell for a community property could be a problem. So it's easier when it's a family property, where you must meet the family head. It's very critical. So you must understand the peculiarity of the family. You must. So if they donate, if somebody that is selling has a lot of allocation, for you to confirm, also back to the due diligence topic, you must meet the people or the persons that have the register of people that has those lands. So to play safe, the execution will not just be done by the person selling. All of them need to become witnesses. They should all sign. you know. And then, of course, everybody knows this. You don't send money through, you don't give cash. If you give cash, without giving cash before, as a very young lawyer, I was still suffering for it today. Yes, but I am refunding the money personally. Yes, because the person ran away. So I refund from every month for a number of years now. They are allowed to refund 50,000 every month for years now. You know. So now we're clear on how to identify the right person to sell when it has to do with family. But to play safe, like I said, I've done a document where we had pages of the execution part, where we had to make sure everybody signs, even though the seller was saying, I mean, how everybody that signs to settle them now they're in the know of the transaction, and it helps. Let everybody know that we are here. Because I mean, here in Enugu, there's a company that bought a property from an individual that the individual bought from a community. The company has not been able to really exercise their rights, because the individual was just saying, let's not involve everybody for one reason or the other. No. Ordinarily, there's what we call customary, when you're selling things like when you go to buy land in Akbugo now, for instance, it's a special thing. Everybody comes to eat. They even kill fowl, and I witnessed one before. I even ate in the local fowl. They roasted it, all of us ate. And they say it's spiritual. Everybody gets to know. Even the property my dad has in my village, it was in the 70s. Everybody knows. Nobody has ever trespassed, except after he died. So I'll talk about this third point. This industry is a delicate one. People set out, they, they involve themselves in transactions, and in the course of their life, when they have moved on, you might even left real estate and they come and arrest you. You might have moved on with your life. You're now a corporate guy in Lagos, and people are still calling you from home, you know, because you occupied a place of trust at the time the transaction took place. And it is a critical position that you cannot abuse. Most times, realtors abuse it. And that's why I don't like all these agents that just take money, they're only interested in commission to move on. You cannot move on at times. In fact, if you do 10 transactions, one will hold you down. But I know here in Enugu, some nice guys, if a deal goes bad, they will pay for everybody. They will not call the realtors together. If I'm right position to the EFCC, if you give me all the realtors that took money, I'll write all their names. I write all their names, write all their phone numbers, they invite all of them. Because personally, I cannot pay for any person's money now. If I took 100,000 for instance, how do I now pay 500,000? Everybody bring their own money now, you know. And there's the beauty of this. Nobody actually runs. It's just that there's no money to chase them. Yes, nobody runs in this world. Nobody runs. Recently, we arrested somebody in Jigawa, and the person has left his phone, has moved on. You know, he has changed number. Nobody runs. It's just that you don't have money to chase them. So the client had 1.5 to give to track the person down. That's why this position of trust is critical. So as they are enjoying that commission, that lump money, make sure that you discharge that duty. And talking about that duty, you know, when rubber hits the road, they call it criminal breach of trust. Because the person who don't have entered into the transaction, if you were not there to do the conversation, if you did not, realtors are very convincing. You know. My friend came back from a doctor in UAE. I don't try to bring him into it. Next time, hey, since you know that somebody was, and when I met the guy, I told my friend, now I know why you bought this land. Because the guy, and he's part of you people, I've seen him there. You know, he has this, he looks like Jeff. Okay, so but let me be serious now. So, but sometimes present facts, and I think they don't even know. Usually, it could be negligence on their own part. It could also be intentional. And when I say intentional can be under the heading of ignorance of the law. They don't know. Just like somebody trying to sell a land in a place like GRA, you don't subside. That's it. You know. So if you're trying to market a land to somebody, telling him that when you do the registration, the land will be entirely his own at the land registry. That like when we find your bodo, everybody will be at the land registry, um, as in accompanying the plot number. That's misrepresentation. Person must have done it because he doesn't know the law. Because the law is there, you know, the government does it, just like some of these government owned properties, you know, and these days, even the housing, they're on top of their game on that. Yeah, so ignorance of the law is part of intentional misrepresentation of facts. We also have sometimes some realtors don't disclose all the facts. They know some issues, but that one, I think that one works better when lawyers are realtors. No, some lawyers work as realtors too. Yeah, lawyers don't make good realtors, in my view. But because they're very confident in themselves, they don't think problem will come out. And at times they even think they are shielding themselves from trouble. But we have seen trouble. Yes. Yes, and we know trouble can come out. Anybody can be arrested. But staying long could be arguable, you know, but you know, the disclosure of facts is critical. And there are plethora of illustrations on this. You know, it is even safe and healthy for your buyer to know all the issues. It will have a ripple effect of leading to reduction in the price of the land. As a very young lawyer, not so young, about 4 or 5 years ago, I was in Oka for court, and I heard somebody came and said, another had my back. There's a land so and so, at so and so place, and then then an onoku, that's in vernacular, and see the extent of the issues. But if you want to buy, see the price they'll give it to you. But you know, normally this is the price that place area goes. It is it's a gentleman arrangement. And a number of people they are good at that. They will just buy it and save the rest for the issues, for the police and all. So it is important that, and at times, so this part is actually very critical. Um, this issue of the facts, the there are some things I would have said now, but let me just dive to the next point, also under this heading, the issue of abandoning a client after a transaction. I have a lot of illustrations on this because they've taken the commission. You know, they don't know. Like here in Enugu, we know about the conquest. We know about one other place that had issue. A client was abroad. He didn't even know about the issues happening here. That the government took over the land and was compensation to Enugu State Housing. That that gentleman that sold that land to him, he was on his own. He came back to Nigeria. You met him, and you convinced him to buy. Now years after, he cannot even use the land, and you don't even know you the realtor. You don't even know what's happening there. So your duty, in my view, is not just about marketing the land, putting on different lights on your WhatsApp, putting on videos on those ones are actually very good. Your duty also includes following up, especially for those realtors, for those clients that don't have what it takes to keep tab on those properties. You know, like last night I heard a story where somebody went to a property and they were going to like a property. There's another one at the back. He's a very big man anywhere. He was going to a property at the back. Before they even enter the one in the front, some people are mobilized to come and lynch them. So they now run out. They could have been lynched. So that person was keeping tab in my view. Because the later realized that he was not even the owner. He was just living there. And some people make a living, slightly towards Okonano and Nichi, that side. People make a living, they're living, yes, they are just living. Their job is to make sure people's lands are safe. So they might even be the ones engineering some problems to make sure that the people paying monthly will keep paying. Yeah. So, but you mustn't abandon your clients. Because that is how, because when issues arise, somehow, if I'm the one advising the clients, I tell them to just include you somehow. Yes, now because if they include you, of course, they will do investigation. Investigation will review whether you are complicit. But at that initial stage, they will have stressed you small. At least nobody wants to leave this beautiful environment to EFCC now. You go and drop your phone at the entrance and they will search you. If you go there 3 days, you will come back and you'll be praying before you tell anybody about any land again. Because you have a duty to even pray, but that's not part of why I'm here. Yeah. So, and then, because of time, I will talk about the last thing under this heading, the issue of irresponsible sellers. I get to know realtors sometimes. They have a lot of companies. They market their lands. I know Browdy. I'm very proud of Browdy. Browdy people. we are Browdy. Because we are Browdy. We are responsible people. Yes. And I reference Browdy to a lot of people. Here in Browdy, things are done. Browdy people spend money on due diligence. So, but here you get to be marketing land from so and so and so. Now, at times you market land to people of belonging to some companies. You don't even know those companies don't have integrity to ensure that the lands are lifted timeously, to ensure that documents are done timeously, to ensure that if issues arise, they will come out in the front and make sure it's resolved. It might even shock you when issues come, the company will still come and they will still expect you to come. A good company will take up the issue and allow you to rest because you are just a realtor. And I have illustrations. You understand? Here in Enugu, an issue arose. I could have mentioned the place. The issue arose. The company took care of all the money they were paid to realtors. They refunded the full money. The company took the money, the land, as a compensatory plot. So there was an issue. People were complaining. So some companies, a realtor should look out for the integrity of a company they are marketing their properties. Because if you're not careful, you market a property belonging to people that even plan to locate abroad very soon. Yes, and when issues arise, they're not even there. You don't know any document, they will not hold you because it's criminal if you sell a land that is no existence. If I carry you to an empty and say that land is plot 40, but when we go to the plan, there's no 40. It's criminal. It's criminal if you come to any land and say that's my land when it's actually not your land. But it's not criminal when you bought land genuinely as a company and then encumbrances arose. Maybe some other person said they should have been settled and they were not settled. It's not criminal. Like I was involved in one at EFCC. I convinced them to allow us to go because I mean our clients bought a property at Nike. We had the land documents rather. We have the transaction receipts. Just that some other people say they must be settled. And the company say we cannot settle the whole world. How much are we going to make? So the people they paid at first, they don't worry, you're going to solve the problem. A year after they've not solved the problem. People that bought started complaining and they took them to EFCC. I told them this is not criminal, this is civil. Let them take us to court. And if you take us to court, we sleep there. We sleep in court. Because Nigeria is blessed. Cases don't end expeditiously. When cases start, even you that's filing a no, it won't end in your own time. Except somehow you have interest. So if you have lots of land as a lawyer inside that place, you'll now be making sure it ends. Thanks for having me. Yeah, thank you.
Are you going to sit down? Okay, ask for question. I know. There is. Okay. This is an amazing time. This is an amazing wow. All right. Thank you, sir, for having us. Thank you for coming and sharing this deep knowledge to us. We appreciate you. And this is an opportunity for us to also appreciate you as a company. You've been there for us. All come true for us at every point in time. We are really grateful. And for the wealth of knowledge you have, we can't deny that. All right. We are grateful. So at this point, also, if you're online and you're enjoying this section, please let us know in the comment section. So if you have questions both online and here, please let us know because he has short time with us. Maybe he can take the answers before he leaves. So any questions so far? Any questions? So I wanted to.
Yes.
Okay.
What I want to ask in a land transaction, they always the drawing line where Realtors starts and then the lawyer takes over. And when it comes to before payment is paid, is it not assumed that the lawyer or the a lawyer should be involved in the process? Is it the rector that now start the journey and then end the journey? I don't think so.
What's your question now, sir?
My question is, where is the drawing line between where the rector, because the rector will introduce the land, and then for verification, is it not the job of the lawyer to do the
Okay.
to do the investigation before payment is being made?
Okay, sir. I wanted to answer, but sir, Barrister Ifeanyi, please go on.
All right. Okay, so I believe that at the point payments are made, that the documents should be ready. That's the job of the lawyer. So the lawyer prepares the receipt, the lawyer prepares the contract of sale if you have paid in installments, and the lawyer prepares the other documents, the evidence title, however nomenclature it comes out, So, but at that point, a lawyer needs to be around. Because if you get to scribble something down, you might not have the sophistication to know all you should write. And so the realtor works in being the client. The lawyer needs to be around at the point of payment and the point of execution of documents.
All right,
So
sir.
I don't know. So no, my real question: does a rector start and end the transaction? Is it not when a rector start the journey, and along the line before the transaction is ended, they are supposed to be Okay, like Brady here, that's why we don't, because we believe that Brady has done some level of and then we can now start and execute with that. But assuming if it's an independent something, we are not too sure, because we believe that as rectors we have limited knowledge, and then you're concerned that this product is available and then it's for sale. And then the verification, is it the rector that is supposed to do the verification, or should the lawyer be involved? So that when there's an issue, because one thing you don't know is beyond you. Because we rectors, I believe our knowledge is limited, and lawyers, it's not like you now. Can I sell a property without involve a lawyer? Is it done?
Well, you should involve a lawyer.
No, we should know, because these are very important. So
You
that
should
when
involve a
when
lawyer.
when EFCC is involved, so we
You
now
might bring a
know
lawyer.
our-
Okay.
know what to
Okay,
say.
well, on a very light note, okay, sorry. You should involve a lawyer. I guess that's suffices.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Okay, so we have amazing comments online. Interesting, nice teaching, brought the global to the world. Thank you, sir. Nice teaching. Thank you for the insightful teachings. We are grateful. Okay, so we have one question online. He said, please, can you throw more light about what you said about probate registry? Just that.
Okay, so the probate registry, even if an owner dies intestate, that dies without leaving a will, it becomes an issue for probate. The owner, anybody trying to purchase a property, and they look at the title documents, and they found out that the name on the title document is not the name of the person trying to sell to them. That should raise a red flag. So when you now find further make inquiry, you find out the person is dead, you should go to the probate registry. You should ask them rather whether they have letter of administration, whether they have a will investing title to the person trying to sell. And like I was trying to say before, here, unfortunately, some people just have the will of something like that. But there's also a way of ensuring that doesn't the potential buyer doesn't fall into that trap.
Okay.
Because ordinarily, even if okay, but let me just continue my response. So
Yeah.
this should suffice.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, sir. Please sit. Okay, so we have more questions, but we can't take all the questions now. That's why we have Vice Fine coming to us at Southeast Realtors Conference, and he will be at the panel session to take all of our questions. Please, those online and those here, please get your questions ready for Southeast Realtors Conference panel section. Is that okay? That question, I should take it. Okay. So please, sir, in a company land, what are the necessary documents that a client needs to make sure the land is genuine and is contract of sales document? So do you understand, sir? I should read it again.
Read it again.
Okay, so please, sir, in a company land, what are the necessary documents that a client needs to make sure the land is genuine and is contract of sales document?
Okay, so for a company land, a contract of sale is not registrable.
Yeah.
So a contract of sale is not registrable. So it's but it is a contract nonetheless. It's binding. It's enforceable in law. If issues arise, you can tender it in court. A court can interpret the terms. A court can hold parties that executed it accountable for the obligation they incurred upon themselves at the point of executing the documents. So, but yeah, so a company can give. It depends on the nature of the company's own interest in the land. So a company has a C of O over a wide expanse of land. They'll give you deed of sublease.
Yeah.
And not deed of assignment. So it depends on the nature of their own interest that will inform the kind of document they are giving. So they can also give a deed of what's it called, your contract of sale. If you are staggering payments, it's just a way of accommodating everybody. And then any other document, there can even be a transaction receipt that can also have terms. Acknowledging that you paid on so date, but that you must pay on so date or else. I've also done such a thing before. It comes as a receipt, but it also has a term. So if you call the company anywhere, the company will waive the document and everybody will stay cool.
Okay. I should ask another question. All right. So Okay, the last question is, my question is, why is it that after discussing with a client, he asked the document of the property? Once you say C of O, he will tell you it is not enough.
Okay, well, then the client is not well informed.
Yeah.
The client is not well informed because a C of O, even though the courts have pronounced the effect of a C of O, a C of O is not, it's not like it doesn't have a radical, because at times when governors want to misbehave, in my view, I mean, I can say this one because I can refer them to the documents.
Okay.
They get to just our C of O. I mean, you're just in your house, and next day somebody comes with bulldozer to bulldoze down your house because he has a C of O that was issued by a governor. There's a court judgment where I think Kayode and CBN, where the Supreme Court what JSC as it then was, say that a C of O does not have such a radical effect, So there should be other documents, but a C of O is a very important document. It comes like if a land has a prior 100 owners, like in the recital, in that period we discuss the history, 100 owners have had it. The first man that got a C of O, he will forgo other people and start counting from him.
Yeah.
Because he has an interest that is radically different from the one others had prior to him. So the C of O is an important document. Ordinarily, even the deed of assignment you have, the governor should sign it. Should give the governor his consent. That consent gives rise to the C of O. At the point of mere execution, mere perfection, that's registering it at the land.
Yeah.
Nobody signs that column. It's at the point of trying to get a consent that you get the C of O. And it takes time, and that's the maximum you can go.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Someone said celebrity barrister. All right, please let's appreciate barrister Ifeanyi once more. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
I thought CO4 is the final bus stop.
That's what he just explained, sir.
That's the last.
Okay. All right. That's the first part of our training today. So now we're going to have another trainer by this time. She's going to be taking us on the journey of creating video content that sells. So as a realtor last week, she talked about content like creating Facebook content, what you write that sells. Now she's going to take us deeper into a video content that sells. So it's necessary that we also take that into consideration, because most times we do videos but we don't do it right. So now she's going to take us through the journey of doing it right. And then we started off today's training on a different level, because we started off having Barrister Ifeanyi at the first. We didn't even do a lot of things. We broke protocols to take him because he has somewhere to go. So the second trainer, who is going to be our very own Jacinta, is going to help us to create video content that sells. So it's possible that the way you are doing it is not working. So we are going to hear from her. All right. And now we are going to make welcome the amazing, the award-winning Miss Jacinta Okwa to take us to the next level of this training. Let's make welcome everybody. Let's appreciate her.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everybody. And I mean, who enjoyed the first session?
Me.
It was really, really amazing. It was deep.
Yeah.
It was deep. As a realtor, you should, when you pay attention to this, you know the kind of properties you sell. Just like he said, the property you sold today might haunt you after. Right? That's why you need to, be careful, do your due diligence, and ask the necessary question. And as a realtor, you can even have your own lawyer. Yes. You must not leave everything to the company, right? You can even have your own lawyer, that makes sure that every property that comes your way is, how they speak, that is scrutinized, right? So we thank Barrister Ifeanyi again, even though he's no longer here, but let's appreciate him once more. All right, so in this second session, I'll just quickly run through. Last week we did how to create winning content as a realtor, the kind of content you can create as a realtor. Because most times especially for those starting out, or even those that have already started real estate. They'll be like, I don't even know the kind of content I'm supposed to create again. Your head will go blank, thinking of what you should create, and discuss extensively on the kind of content you can create as a realtor. How many of us were here, were here last week? Okay. Yeah. So if you missed last week's training, you can go on YouTube at Realtor, then watch the previous videos. The previous video we had last time um for video content that you're supposed to make as a realtor. So today we'll just be taking it a step further on how you can create those videos. On how you can create those videos, right? So last week we discussed on how many types of content can you create. How many do we list? Number one is what? Educational content. Number two, property. Okay. Number three, entertainment. Exactly. Success videos and client testimonial. Then last one was user-generated content. Now, as you are listing this content, you know why we choose video as our way of marketing, right? Yes. And one of the major benefits of using videos is that it helps us to build what is the three. Sorry. It goes online. Yeah. I'm seeing the fire emoji. Rita Jesse, thank you. EDP said educational content. Exactly. Yes, we have students. Our students are paying attention very well. So we said for us to, why we create videos is to do what? To build these three things, which the first one is expertise, right? Expertise. Then the second is authority. And then the last one is trust. Now, these things are very important because of the kind of industry we play in, right? Because how many people do you possibly know that will buy property? Then how do you communicate to them on how to buy property? So the easiest way or the shortcut to marketing is using video content, right? It makes it easier for you to sell to strangers. I mean, they say people buy from who? From who they know, like, and trust. Now, before they know, how do they get to know you? It's from your videos. I mean, for those using, we are talking about online marketing right here. It's from your videos. It is through your videos that you generate content, that you generate activities that they used to know you, right? It is through your videos you are creating a day in your life. You are showing you attended trainings like this. You are showing you went to inspection. You are showing you went for verification at Ministry of Lands. All these things are activities that will generate the sale. They are activities that is going to make people to know you first. Because as they are watching all those videos, they are getting to know you, right? They are getting to know you. And when you go for property tours, when you visit some of your neighborhood, you're making videos and posting it out there. These are activities that you are creating. These are marketing activities. And it is in these activities that people get to know you. And it is in it that they get to like you. And it is in it they get to trust you. And one of the major contents you can create to build authority and trust is educational content. We've talked about it over and over again. It's educational content. So imagine that you have sat in this Barry Stefani's class, right? You've listened, you've heard in depth on how due diligence is supposed to be done. When you are buying a company land, things you need to do. When you are buying a community land, these are things you need to do. When you are buying a family land, these are the things you need to do or you need to know, right? So imagine you making videos on these things now. What it will show that you understand this very well. And people will feel like, oh, if it is this guy, he knows, like before he brings property to me, he must have done all these things that he has said. And then you are seen as the expert or as the authority. And that's why they say money follows authority. Money flows to authority. And if you are starting as a newbie or as a new realtor or you're already into real estate, start with educational content. It stands you out, right? Even when they are not buying from you, they are coming to make inquiries from you. So the best way to get in or to attract more people to yourself is through educational content. Yes, other content will also make them, like I said, the ones that will make them to know you, right? Is all those your lifestyle content where you're showing your neighborhood. When you come for this kind of trainings, you make those kind of videos and posts. When you attend other trainings and all of that, they are getting to know you. Then trusting you is in these teachings you are making. And there's one thing that educational content helps you to do. It helps you to, number one, understand the industry you are playing in. Because imagine you start in this barrister finance class, you're already understanding how documents supposed to be done, right? Even so, people can easily consult you. So it will help you to understand it. Then also, you by the time you are watching other people's content, maybe you want to create educational video, right? By the time you watch other people's educational video, you will first of all want to understand it first before you explain it. So there's a difference between you learning something just for learning sake. But when you're learning to teach it, you understand it more. And that is what educational content does. So when you learn, you will teach it. And it is in teaching it that you are building trust and authority. Are we following? So educational content is very important. And that's why when I started real estate, I made some searches by following some people that were doing educational content, or some already realtors that were doing very well. People like, what is that? Caro, something Caro Toji, something like that. I don't know again. On YouTube, but Caro, Caro Toji, something like that. She does more of educational content. People like Stephen Akintayo, I still follow him too. And there are so many other people that I usually go through their videos, and then after going through it, I will learn it, then I will not teach it. Right? So educational content helps you to understand the industry you're playing in. It will help you to build your confidence as well. Because by the time you understand all these things, and somebody is telling you, just like that person is saying, oh, the client is saying CFO is not enough. You cannot respond to that client because you self, you don't even know what is CFO. So it is at this point you educate the client, and by the time you finish educating the client, right, he will see you as the authority. He will see that you know this thing very well. So aside knowing the property you are selling, aside all these things, you need to understand documents, because it is in document that most time the problem comes in. First, client is looking for the location. Next thing is documents. They want to know the document, and that's why Realtor School is there. I mean, most of these things have been discussed in Realtor School, right? So through educational content to help you to understand all these terms, and you'll be able to give it to clients anytime in the or your prospects, because most times themselves, they don't even know about it. They'll just tell you, oh, if it is not CFO, they are not buying. Meanwhile, the CFO is not even all it takes for you to own a land. Even if the land has a CFO, there should also be a deed that is transferring ownership, right? The CFO is just basically stating that this land belongs to you, but the one that transfers the ownership is a deed. So if you don't understand it yourself, you will not be able to, explain it to another person. So educational content builds your confidence, right? So as a beginner or as a new realtor or somebody that wants to do more of education, you can look for people that are already doing well. Go through their pages. Like what I used to do then is that I'll go through most of their pages and then I'll look at their popular videos. I don't know if you go to YouTube, you will see when you open somebody's channel. When you see somebody's channel, you see popular video, other videos. I go to the popular video and I look at the most popular ones, and I will, model it. It's not copy. You model it. Modeling it is that maybe you watch it, understand it, then explain it in your own terms, right? So that is what you need to do. So because the truth is that educational content shortcut your journey, because that's one of the things that helped me when I started. I made a lot of educational content, even when I was even when I was chewing my mouth, right? But what I used to do, like I explained in my last training, that I will watch it and then I will now redo it. That is the learning to teach. So when you learn it, you teach it. And as I was doing that, I made a lot of videos. And by the time you come to my platform, you see a lot of videos, you feel that I started a long time ago. Because people want to buy from somebody that have inventory or inventory list, right? Just like, let's take for instance, you go to Ntachi, and Ntachi restaurant is their inventory is what? Food, right? It's food, different kind of food there, but all this one. All this. What if you walk into Ntachi and you're just seeing only jollof rice? How will you feel? And maybe at that time you are looking, you have imagined yourself, somebody like me. I've imagined myself hot eba with or soup or bonus. And I now go there, I'm only seeing jollof rice. My steez will just drop. I will now start looking for another place, right? Imagine yourself that way and imagine your own platform that way. When somebody comes to your page, just one thing that is there is only buy. Urgency, 50 million naira in independent layouts, 1 million naira close to my house, 3 million naira behind somewhere. By the time they see all those things, they'll just give up. Right? So imagine, take yourself as a business and ask yourself, what are my inventory lists? That is when your content comes in. I mean, you are not selling crayfish, you're not selling food like Ntachi, that you have to have varieties. Take yourself as a business. Because before you become a realtor, you are a business person. So take your real estate business as a business. And that is when you now think of various kind of content you can create to keep your page or to keep your audience entertaining and catchy. So are we following? Yeah, so it is very necessary you understand all these things. And for those that missed out last time, please make sure you go and watch the previous videos we have there. All right. So today we'll be talking about how to create these videos. Now that you have understood all the contents, how am I now going to create these videos? First, I usually advise that you script your video. That is before you make those videos. Scripting does not mean you should start writing just points that you're going to talk about. Because most times when we on our camera to start talking, maybe everything will now wipe. They have somebody like me that once you set camera, everything. But once I write it down, once I don't look at the points, I will start talking. Right? So first thing, you need to script your videos. Even if it is a property video, right? It must not only be educational video. Educational video, you can do it in the office or on site, right? That is on the land that you're selling, right? Educational videos, so it can be a head video that is just showing your face to your stomach, right? So you need to script your videos, even if it is a property video. You need to script it so that you will not miss your word. And once you start, even if you make mistake, please continue. Don't give up. Because most times when you start making video and then you now make mistake and you just stop the video and you want to start again, you get angry and then disconnect your phone and then say this thing is not working for me. And that is a mindset you need to kill at first. Don't say I'm not a video person or I'm not a real not a social media person. Except you don't want, maybe I can understand that maybe the reason why you don't want to show your face, because some people say there was a lady that wanted to start real estate that we'll go to site, she don't be doing ground. I said, girl, you need to show your face. She said, no, how will she show her face inside this bush? Okay. So how do you not want people to know you? Right? How will people know that you are into this game? You are into this thing. So is it every time you are showing ground? They are not seeing you inside the ground to see that you are selling land for God's sake. So when they're supposed, is it inside water? Sorry. So the only part that I may understand why you don't want to show your face is maybe you're owing somebody. And you don't want them to see you. Maybe they not see you. Oh, you're owing me and you're here making videos. Right? Well, even if you're owing somebody, at least you're making videos to attract people to generate money. So that is the only part that you say, oh, I don't want to show my face. But see, you need to wave that mindset that, oh, I'm not a video person. Oh, I'm not a social media person. Nobody was born a social media person. And nobody was born a video person. You have to decide it yourself, because this is what is going to help you, right? It is when people know you that they trust you to do business with you. That is why somebody like me from nowhere will now start real estate and start making millions, right? It does not happen. If I was there doing, oh, I'm not going to make video today, I'm not going to do this, nobody will call me, right? But in showing myself out there and putting the videos, despite how bad they were, people still contacted me, and it was in doing it that I got better, and I can now teach it to other people, right? So please, that mindset of, oh, I'm not a video person, please remove it in Jesus' name. There's number 2, try to rehearse the videos before you make it. I'm laughing because sometimes rehearse the videos before you shoot them. So take, for instance, you want to talk about something, right? You want to talk about maybe a CFO. You want to, so you can rehearse by, talk as in explaining it like you're explaining to somebody. That's one of the ways I normally make my video. So when I'm shooting the video, I'll ask Wizzy, how far? Are you understanding what I'm saying? If you say no, I don't even understand, I say, I've been talking to myself. So when you're making video, you make a video as if you're explaining it to somebody that don't know about that thing before now, right? So when you're making your video, you make your video like you are talking to somebody. And because people are going to watch you part-time. So by the way you communicate in your video, the person will feel, oh, you are talking to me. That's why somebody will come and say, this last video you made, you're just talking to me. I made a video of one real estate cashback, right? The guy called me saying, okay, I made a video that you don't have to wait. I use my example of procrastination. And after talking about how I procrastinated about doing something, how it affected me. So the way I explained it and the way I made the video, somebody called me and was like, Jessica, you were talking to me in this video, right? So when you want to make your video, rehearse it. Explain it like you're explaining to somebody, like somebody that don't even know about that thing you're talking about. That is a better way to make your video, so that when people are watching it, they get to understand you more and they get to feel you more. I mean, sales is energy. It is in the energy, is in the energy that you communicate it that they are going to connect with you. Sometimes people don't just sometimes people just buy because of the energy. Oh, I like how you explain this place. I have talked about this example most times. I made a video in one of our property that was along the road. That was Monique Estate. And I was on the road. I was like, owning a land along the road is a big flex. You know, the way, so somebody now came to my DM and I wrote it the way I said it. So it was the energy I communicated. And later he bought, right? It was in the energy, though he said he don't need land, but because of it, he now bought.
I received it.
So sales is energy. It is in the energy you use to communicate, right? So it is when you rehearse, keep rehearsing it, then before you now shoot, it will flow smoother than when you just on your camera and start talking. Are we following? Those online, please let me see your fire emoji if you're still following. The number 3 is work on your visuals. This visual is the output of the video. That is the lightning we are talking about here. So you might not have all the gang like all the scenario that we have here, having all the ring lights or the LED lights. You can use the sunlight. I mean, that is the best light you can even use safe, right? I remember when I started, I used to place my phone on my window. I'll stack book and then place my phone on the window and the lights will be on me. And I'll make my videos. So you don't have excuse. That's just it. You don't have any excuse for you not to make videos. You don't have ring light. In fact, I had somebody that said, oh, he wanted to buy all the things in the world before he starts making his videos. Eh? So you are starting out and you don't have all those lights, it's not an excuse for you not to make it. You can use your window lights. Make sure that it is well you are well lighted, and then you can now make your videos on them. Then number 4 is use a good background. So if you're making a head video, make sure that you are using a plain background. It can be white, it can be any color that is plain. Please don't mix things up and down. See some people that want tie rope and hang their clothes, and then they will now sit at the back of the clothes and start making video. Please always use a plain background. The thing is that as people are watching your video, they are paying attention to so many things. They are paying attention to you. They are paying more attention to your background. In fact, it's even your background they are looking at. Somebody will leave the video your shit and say, I saw. They say cat dancing in your background. And so, I don't know whether you used to see TikTok comments. Most of them they will leave the video entirely. Somebody will say, can we talk about the girl dancing on the background? Somebody say, oh, can we talk about the picture on the background? And people will pick it up and start talking about the picture. And they now leave the video. So please, as much as you can, always use a plain background for your videos. Then number 5, where's my number 5? Use a noise-free background or a noise-free location. Please, when you are making your videos, please ensure that the location you are using is noise free. Don't stay in a location that people, don't be like me that made a video in a background where people were fighting, right? Make sure that your environment is noise free, and then make sure that anyhow you can ensure that your video is noise free, because noise distracts your audience and distract the person watching the video. They can't pay attention to you if your background is noisy. You can't be making a video where somebody is shouting, or children are crying, or somebody is, maybe other things are going on in that background. It's a distraction. And these little things we are talking about, they're the major thing that affects our sales, right? Because when they keep watching your video, they see that, oh, you're always in a noisy background. Nobody will pay attention. In fact, they will not even watch to the end. They will move to another person that has more a serene location that is making your videos. Now, sometimes, um, maybe when you're making a property video on ground, right, you can also know how to curtail the noise. Because sometimes maybe you're making a video, car is passing, it's not bad. In fact, I like to show the car passage or any other thing that is passing, but always find a way that you curtail voice or noise in your videos. Are we following so far?
Yes.
Now, how to make these videos using, now that you have understand all these things, first you need to script your video, your content. Second, you need to rehearse the video before shooting. 3, you need to work on your visuals. 4, use a good background. 5, use a noise-free background. Can as well. Here, I suggest you also use mic, like this kind of mics. Someone is smiling already. Use good mics. So mic, I don't want to call names, and I'm not going to call names. Please, if your mic is going to make you to cry, please just be audible when you're making your videos, right? Because me, I've cried because of videos before. After using one mic, did like 20 something minutes video. And when I now entered my room to edit, I was now hearing, I wept. So please, if you're buying a mic, please buy a good mic. Get a good mic, like this one. Right. So these are the necessary things you need to do. These are like preparations for your videos, right? Then how to now make the videos properly. So we'll be using we have been talking about, bring it to us back, the ADA principle, right? I don't know why this marker is not marking. The first one is what? Attention. Interest. Desire what? Action. Now this should be your, this is what your video is supposed to be like. When you're making a video, the first thing is you're getting attention. Second thing, you're making sure that your video is interesting. And the third thing is that you're creating a desire for them. And then the last thing is that you're asking them to take action. This attention is very important. I mean, take for instance, you are on social media, you're scrolling. You know, most of the videos we watch is because they captured our attention. Now ask yourself, is my own video capturing people's attention? If they are not capturing people's attention, then you now ask yourself, how do I capture people's attention? And that is what hook does. This is where you use hook. Hook, just like the hook we used to hook fish. It's still like applicable to this. This is where you use words that are capturing, that are captivating, right? This is where you use a very captivating word that suits your audience at that time. Now, the type of hook you use is depending on the video that you are making, right? So take for instance, you're making a property video and you just started with um, this is a late court estate, it's selling for 2 million naira and it is registered. People, someone, eh, if you post the video, what will happen?
Scroll.
They'll just scroll. So your job is to stop people from scrolling to watch your video. That is why attention, that's why you need hook for attention and what? Retention. You need to retain their attention for them to be able to watch your videos. So you need hook. That is why you look for most of these captivating words or capturing words to say at the beginning of your video to capture your target audience to stop scrolling and watch your video. What kind of word do you use when you're making property videos? What I use sometimes in a minute or in a moment, I'm going to be showing you this particular property that you're going to make so profit from in few months. If you want, and that is where you will also see some hooks like if you watch this video to the end, you will learn this and that, right? Or you will see today I'm about to show you the most beautiful paradise that you can own in Enugu. Right? These are hooks that you can use to grab the attention of your audience to stop scrolling and then watch your videos. This also applies in any other kind of video that you are making. Take for instance, you're making educational videos, right? That's why you see some people who make a video like if you watch this video to the end, I'll show you different ways you can avoid being scammed when buying land right here in Nigeria. And these are hooks. So your assignment today is to go and look for different kind of hooks that you can use for your videos to capture your audience attention when making your videos. Because it is when they watch, when you are able to, hook them to pay attention to you, that is when they can watch to the end and know the next action they are going to take. So hook is very important. So I wrote some things down. Some other hooks like the fastest way to make money from real estate. These are kind of hooks. There's so many other ones. 5 terrible mistakes to avoid when buying land. These are, different ways you can hook your audience depending on the kind of, video that you are making. Are we following? Yes. Any questions? Please, if you have questions, both those online. All right.
Like you said, if you watch this video to the end, so such things can you use it on your thumbnail? That is another thing altogether. There's the difference between titling and then thumbnail. So you know how to title your title. Like all these short videos. Yes. But even in your long videos, like right, that's what I was using property videos. So your video can be different from your titling. And what I mean is, it's not like you must use the exact thing that you have used to make that video, but make something, maybe capturing words that is related to the video you are creating. You can use it that's why I sometimes say, watch this before you buy land in Enugu. That can be your thumbnail. Then the other things can follow as your title. Are we following? So the next thing, which is going to be like the interest and desire, is the body of the content. Let me call it story. I call it story.
This is where you tell the story, right? This is like the body of your video. This is where you get to sell a story. This is where you get to explain whatever you have to explain in that video. So if it is a property video, this is where you sell the property. You sell the future of the property, especially if it is a land banking property, right? This is where you get to sell. We can give projection of how development is moving towards that property. This is where you get to sell the future, maybe projects that are coming into that property, into that location. This is where you talk about it. This is where you also get to talk about the futures of the property, right? You talk about it is gated, it is fenced, it has this document, it is selling for so price, right? So this is the body. This is where the interest and desire. So your aim here when you're creating this video is to elevate their interest and desire towards whatever you're explaining, right? The goal is that at the end of you making that video, they are interested in whatever you are selling or whatever you have taught in that video. Are we following? So here you can share a brief history of the environment if you can, and then here you can incorporate informations, right? You can incorporate informations. This is where you can also talk about the developers, maybe people that you can talk about. Brady Global has been able to deliver so and that estate. They have done so many allocations here. This is where you get to share all those information. So in the body or in the story where you're going to create this interest and desire, this is where you talk about all those things. These things I've talked about is going to form your body of the content of your video. This is also where you can talk about information about yourself. Or I've been in this industry for 3 years now, and I've helped XYZ to make profitable real estate investments in different parts of Enugu or in different parts of Nigeria. And I can help you to make same real estate investment, right? And then here also is where you can also use persuasive language. In persuasive language, this is where you get to talk about the promos that are going on in the property, right? If there's a promo going on, this is where you get to talk about it. You talk about the advantages of owning that property, right? You talk about the reasons why they need to own that property. So all these things is in relation to creating the interest and desire of your audience, right? All these things you are saying is to create interest and desire in whatever you are selling. And the last thing is the call to action, right? The call to action. Most realtors make this mistake. They will say everything, but they will not tell the audience what to do. You will not explain, tire. After explaining tire, what's next? You will not tell them how they will reach out to you. See, people like to be guided on what next to do. That's why some people will come to you to buy land. They will not be like, so what should I do now? Right? What step am I going to take to buy this land? So people like to be guided on what to do. So after making your videos, I did not tell them, oh, call me on the numbers on your screen, or call. In fact, we used to go to the extent of calling my numbers. I'll call my numbers. Even if I tell you, call the numbers on your screen, I will still call 080-111-2435, right? Because I want you to take that action. Or that is when you hear I say things like, pick up your phone now and dial these numbers I'm about to call, right? So these are call to action. People like to be told what to do. You don't assume. If it is my boss, you say assumption is the lowest form of knowledge. So you don't always assume that there's no what next. Not everybody has sense. Sorry. right? So you always need to tell your audience what needs to do. After making all these videos, tell them to reach out to you, to connect with me, call this number, see this link, join this, click here, or call me now. Please don't always forget that. So many people, I've seen so many realtors, they will make videos. At the end, they will not put any call to action. It is the call to action that they take the action. If you did not call to action, they will leave you and go. And that's why even on my YouTube, I will still tell you subscribe. Even if you are seeing the subscription, I will still be telling you subscribe, because I know if I did not tell you, you will not do it. And you see people, you see most influencers, like we call them, they'll still be telling you follow me, right? Does it mean that they don't have they don't need to assume that people are already following them? They don't need, but they still go ahead to tell you to follow them. That is the importance of asking people to take action. So in all this, make sure that first you use a hook when making your video. Whatever kind of video you want people to watch them, right? So you don't have to make it boring. That is why you say use energy, right? You don't have to necessarily shout, but use energy. Be happy. Put a smiling face when you're making a video. One of my clients then, that in fact the first time I made my first video, the woman that bought, she told me she was just smiling throughout while watching my video, because I was smiling as I was making it. So we are right here in this place. So I was explaining, I was smiling. So it is in the energy, like I said, in communicating it, that they will like it. And then you cannot even express that somebody actually bought because of I was smiling, right? So that's why you need to be enthusiastic about whatever you are doing. Be happy. Keep a smiling face whenever you're making video, right? Don't make it too obvious, though. Right? Well, just keep a smiling face. Keep good energy, right? That's why Mr. J will say, if he sees a different number calls him, even if he's lying down, he have to sit up and use energy, smiling, even if the person is not seeing him, but he can feel the energy from the way he's talking from the phone. Sometimes most of us, we are online, our numbers are there. They will call us anytime. You're not be saying hello. You just make it obvious that you are sleeping. You just make it obvious. The person will just say, it's like I woke you up. Oh, sorry. You will not end the call. You will not go meet somebody that is not sleeping, that is awake. So that alone has taught me that if anytime you call me, I always, try to put up a smiling face, even when you're not seeing me, because it is in the energy. There's something that John Obidi said. He said, energy cannot be what? Cannot be destroyed, but can transform from one form to another. So imagine that you carry your low energy. Oh, um, hello, and all of that. You're already passing the person. Oh, you are tired. You don't want to. The person will now move to another person. So always make sure that you are in a good energy. Even when you're not in a good energy, you see somebody that calls you for property, please bring the energy anyhow and then speak to the person. Like we say, yeah, I mean, money is a good energy for me. So for you to attract money, you need to be in a good, you need to feel good, right? You need to be in a good energy. That's why they say energy is what? Sales. Sales is in energy. So with all this, we'll be dropping the mic today. So for us here, if we have any question, or
day, an amazing week ahead. Bye, guys.